learning a whole new side of you. Almost died.
I mean, like, let's be honest, that's not the first time I almost died. So,
That's a story for another.
that is a story for another time.
Hello, storytellers. Welcome to Seek and Speak. Here we discover the extraordinary and ordinary truths within all walks of life through one story at a time. I'm Biyeni, the host, and I work to inspire connection, creativity, and reveal how the heart of every story is human. Today, I interviewed a good friend of mine, and I can't wait to introduce him to you. Let's meet him. Hi, Matt. Welcome, guys. Welcome back to Seek and Speak. Today we have Matt Wickliffe. I am so lucky and excited to have you here today for this episode.
I am excited to be interviewed for this episode.
It's going to be a great conversation, and I'm excited to hear what you have to share.
Of course.
So, me and Matt, we've known each other for
7 years?
7 years. We met.
Sophomore year of high school.
Yes.
I think it was in theater.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it Arsenic?
Yes.
Arsenic and Old Lace.
Yes, that was a time.
The background on that, but yeah, and so we've been friends for a super long time, and like the many others, I feel like I know a lot about you, but I'm really excited for you to share a story that I haven't heard before, or that you rarely share.
I mean, I don't know, I talk to you guys a lot, but there's also some things I know I haven't told you guys, and I'm hoping that this is a story that I have not told you guys, so we will find out.
We will find out. All right. Well, I know you pretty well, but the people watching, hopefully watching, don't know you. So why don't you just share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. My name is Matt. I am 22 years old. Today is actually my birthday.
Happy birthday. Well, when I post this, it's not going to be your birthday anymore.
It's not. But
it's okay. It's a vibes.
We're recording this on my birthday, so.
Happy birthday, Matt. Everyone comment down below.
I am from New Haven, Connecticut. I was born and raised here. And I have very few hobbies that I actually keep up with. I like to exercise, go to the gym. I like to skate. That's something that I've been doing for about 2 years now.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not good, but I'm not bad.
I think you're pretty good.
I also like to play instruments. Right now I'm teaching myself a little piano, a little guitar. I currently go to Southern Connecticut State University, and I am currently a senior right now, finishing up last year.
Studying?
I study healthcare, and I have a minor in business administration.
Thank you so much for sharing a little bit about yourself. So the audience is ready to hear your story, and I'm ready to hear your story. And it doesn't have to be anything super extraordinary or ordinary. Quite literally anything. Only requirement is something that you haven't shared that's meaningful to you, and that will help us and the audience connect on a different level and be inspired.
Sure.
So what's your story, Matt?
So this story starts off, I want to say back in 2022, February of 2022. And we were actually in one of the freshman dorms, and you know Justin, right?
Yes.
We were in his dorm. We were all drinking and having fun. We were just goofing around, having fun. I completely forgot what I drank that night, but all I know, it was a lot because I had never drank like that before. We were going between floors, right? So Justin lived on the 5th floor, and we had some friends on the 3rd floor or the 2nd floor that also had drinks, and then we had friends on the 3rd floor that also had drinks. They made this big thing of jungle juice. So both me and Justin eventually just started going in between all 3 floors, just drinking as much as we could and just having the time of our lives, because frankly I had a lot of fun because I had never done anything like that at that point. I think this was around midnight. We eventually after making 3 laps around the entire building, we eventually get back up to Justin's room on the 5th floor, right? And they had more drinks, and I was drinking a little more, and then I eventually had passed out on his bed. And since I hadn't drank that much at that point, I had no idea what my limit was.
Right.
So I eventually just like passed out on his bed, and then I threw up. But the thing about that is, when you throw up, you want to throw up forward so it all goes out. I was on my back, like laying on my back. So essentially, I was like, I almost like drowned in my own throw up.
Wait, I had no clue this happened.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then
my bad friend.
No, it was a time. Like, it wasn't a good time, but it was a time. And then that's when the RA came into the room, and because they had gotten a noise complaint on that floor, but it wasn't even for us, for like what we were doing. It was for something completely different.
Right.
So the RA came into the room. He saw me on the bed, and he was like, "Yo, lift him up. Like, you can't have him on his back." Because I was gonna like, I almost died pretty much.
Shout out that RA.
Yeah.
That's actually insane.
This is why RAs are important.
No, it makes me like think like, because going to college, especially, like, people don't educate children on like what it's like to drink. The drinking age is 21.
Exactly.
But realistically, people go to college and they find a way to get their hands on a drink, and they don't know their limit. And that's because this happens a lot.
Exactly. It's actually insane. Even before college, people get kids get their hands on alcohol.
Right.
It's like, oh, it's like they don't know how to handle it because
they don't.
They're teenagers.
No one educates them.
Exactly.
Like, I wonder if like, I know, okay, because my school, we had like a drinking course, right? Like, you had to do it at the start of, it's called Trojan Learn. And you would have to go through the whole course on like how to be safe in general in college. But it was one of those things that like you could skip really easily.
Really?
Like, guess the answers. Like, you had to get a certain amount correct. Yeah, but you could skip it so easily. And I remember thinking, because obviously USC party, so many kids were like being sent to like the emergency, what do you call it? EMTs would come pick up students, like, because they were just getting too drunk and they didn't know their limit. No, really. It happens a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's because you're in college and you have like that freedom that you probably never had before. Some people never had that type of freedom before.
Exactly, but I just like, I don't know, what do you think? Do you think that there should be better established drinking, like, education or at least safety courses on how to handle these things entering college?
I'd say like not like direct courses, because okay, here's the way I see it as is like, if there's like a direct course on it, like they teach it in classrooms, then I feel like people aren't going to be like that interested or that like that tuned in. But if it's just like people, they have like they have other students or other people that like they know they can relate with, like RAs for example, because RAs they're in charge, and generally if you're in the right dorm and you have the right RA, they're usually mad chill.
Yeah, yours saved your life. Wow.
Right. And then like I think it's better to just like for kids to be informed on how to properly like handle yourself, and I know it sounds bad, but how to properly, like how to drink responsibly as a kid. Right. Like if you're underage, because like even then people who don't drink and they start drinking when they're an adult, I feel like they don't even they don't have like a good grasp on that too. So like I think it's better to have like a knowledge on this kind of thing, just so nothing like bad happens.
That is so, like, maybe like at orientation, like when you're like in a big fun group setting, they can inform you on like how to go about that. That is so, well, thank you so much for sharing that. Of course. Actually, I am so shocked that that even happened, but like unfortunately it's just like a truth of like being in college.
And you know what's crazy is like, I'm not even know that story. You know what's crazy?
Really?
Yeah, after that they called the ambulance, right? So then I ended up in the hospital. I didn't have to get my stomach pumped, like, thank God. But like I ended up going to the hospital, and I think I stayed there overnight just because like I was already passed out, and I had like I essentially didn't have any ride back, but like but when the morning came, I just called some friends and then they gave me a ride back home. So
Wow.
yeah, it was definitely a night where I learned a lot about my limits
Yeah.
and what I can and can't do.
Yeah. Do you want to share like specifically, if you're comfortable, like what are like the main lessons you learned from that experience?
Drink responsibly.
And I feel like, especially like, because we've seen like incidents where people are like trying to join like Greek life.
Exactly.
And they drink way too much and they end up like disabled or dead.
Yes.
And it's just like people don't understand what they're getting into.
Yeah.
When they are starting things like that is so interesting. Well, like your friends, like too, like I feel like it also becomes a big responsibility because you yourself are drinking, but so are your friends.
Yeah. But like, I mean, honestly, at that time, my friends were also pretty responsible when it came to that. Okay. So they also like helped me through it. So I'm really grateful for that.
But it's also just being surrounded by like educated people and like how to handle this. Exactly. Because, you know, being on your side after a night of drinking instead of being on your back could have made a huge difference to how
really
the night
can. It's crazy how much things you can do that will actually save your life.
Yeah.
Or just don't drink at all, you know, like.
Yeah, I mean.
But where's the fun in that?
I also think, because like so many people debate, in the US, we should have a younger drinking age. You know? What are your thoughts on that? Because most people, I mean, not most, like if you go to college or whatever, find themselves being independent around the age of 18.
Yeah, but at the age of 18, you're still a kid.
That's what I think.
You're still not fully developed. Like I'm 22 and I still am not developed.
Right.
Like there's still I still have a lot to learn. Like
Exactly.
There's still more life to live.
That's so true. And I've been like seeing a lot of research on how much damage alcohol actually does to your brain and to your body. And like, you know, especially like as you like get older, like people are like, when you're young, like you can drink and then wake up the next day and you're totally fine and like blah blah blah. But as you get older, like it starts to manifest in like hangovers and stuff like that. Yeah. And I don't think people actually contemplate that it's an actual like alcohol is not only a drug, but it is not good for your body. And like moderation is so incredibly important. And it starts young. You learn your habits when you're young.
Yes.
You know? And it's fun to go crazy and like party and whatever when you're legally allowed to drink. I preface that, but it's also very important to know your limits.
Very much so, very much so. But like I said, I learned a lot from that. I learned my limits. I learned to like drink responsibly and just like look out for other people who may be in that position, because like knowing that I was like so susceptible and vulnerable in that moment, I'm just like now more like whenever I'm around people who are intoxicated, or even if I'm intoxicated, I'm still alert and attentive to if other people are okay. Like I'll ask other people, are you okay? Are you good? Like I'll try to I want to make sure everyone has a good experience and make sure that people aren't like bugging out or just like starting to, you know, go crazy.
That's really important, because I feel like, you know, if you go out like on a weekend or whatever, and there are typically a lot of people who are drinking, it's good to be aware and to be watching out for people. I know like I've been in situations where it's like, oh no, this person needs help immediately. And just being aware of the situation like has, I don't know if it saved lives. I'd like to think I saved lives, but it's definitely made a difference to how their night could have gone. And so I think that's really good of you and important to like continue to do.
Exactly.
You know? Wow. Well, I am grateful that you shared this story with me.
Of course. Well,
I'm gonna ask you a few ending questions. First question is this something that you get to share like often?
Not really, not exactly share, but I am reminded of it when everyone else like just remembers back to that time, like, oh, you remember when Matt almost died at your dorm? And I'm just like, oh yeah, you know, I had a lot of fun, and like I learned the lesson.
Until...
So yeah, of course.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I had a lot of fun. I learned the lesson, and you know.
Wow. I feel like
Yes.
that just revealed a whole, because you are a careful drinker, I feel like now.
Yeah, I'm
like,
much more careful.
You know, I'm 22, I'm legal, so wherever we go and we're having a good time, like I notice that you are very careful, and I feel like knowing the story reveals a lot.
Yeah.
About why.
I feel like that experience specifically is what made me more cautious and aware.
Wow. Do you feel like that's impacted other aspects of your life as well,
I
regardless of
definitely
drinking?
Say so. It kind of just helped me look out more for people who are kind of like, you know, a little helpless and can't really like take care of themselves. So it kind of made me a bit more of a nurturer.
Yeah, because when you're in such a vulnerable position, I feel like experiencing, like having someone help you in a vulnerable position helps you to realize that you can be that person that makes a difference in like a day-to-day thing.
Exactly. And my friends were like so generous and so willing to like help me in when I was in that position. So
wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing this.
Of course.
Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Seek and Speak. I hope you enjoyed the lovely story of when Matt almost died. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you feel inspired and connected to Matt, someone you've never met before, maybe. I will put all of his contacts, links down below. I'll figure that out. I know I said that in the last one, but I'll figure it out. And yeah, can't wait to see you in the next episode. Bye.